Well, everybody's wondering where the heck is Jay? Hello there, Gapreet. Good to see you. Good to see you. Sorry I'm so late today, guys. I had a bunch of real life things going on. Didn't mean to keep you waiting. I know you guys know I'm always doing this at noon, but for the next couple weeks, I have a couple more things coming up. So next week on the live stream, it's going to be around 5 or 5:30, somewhere in there. And then after that, we'll go back to our noontime kind of thing, just to let you know. But like I'm going to tell you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to the channel once again. You know it is, and we're right here with you. I had to throw everything together on the cuff. It took me, and don't forget your drinking snacks. I had to throw everything together last minute. So I do apologize if I don't have everything together, but we will have everything together because everybody's wondering. They're saying, Jay, what are we going to do? Well, if you're talking about the 50 series, I don't know what to tell you about that. That seems like it's a disaster in itself. We all know right now that if you go online, you ain't going to find a 50 series. You barely can find a 40 series. And they're like, should I wait? Should I wait? Should I wait for the 9070 XT? I don't know. It's kind of looking like that, don't we think? And also, too, just on the checking the information today, that somebody put out there that NVIDIA is going to take and put out a 5060, the 5060s in February, and then make the 5070s in March. Take it with a grain of salt until I actually see a post from NVIDIA about that. I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. But as far as having a 40 series graphics card, if you already have one, do enjoy the perk of the new software. I was sitting there playing Cyberpunk last night, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, well, hell dangy dong. I got the 4070. And I'll tell you what, I played Cyberpunk at NVIDIA's graphic settings that they have on the app. It was perfect. No problem whatsoever. I didn't see no hesitations. I didn't see no artifacting. I didn't see nothing but buttery smooth goodness. This is something that the reviewers are not talking about. I don't know why they're not talking about this. I don't know. I don't know why they're not talking about this. It's really something that they should be talking about. Right now, there's limited supply, and we all know that it's going to be like this for quite a while, because for the simple fact that TSMC had an earthquake over there, and it might have destroyed 20,000 GPU dies. They come out a big round disc. 20,000 might be destroyed because of a simple earthquake over there in Taiwan. So, keep that in mind, especially when TSMC builds all the graphics cards. They put everything into one nutshell, all these companies, and now this is the result of that nutshell. The one thing that nobody's talking about. Hello, pseudoscientists. Good to see you. Good to see you. It's time you quit recommending AMD GPUs. Okay, well, fill me in, brother. Why should I quit recommending them? Well, Or should I recommend them? I just want to know. I mean, I know everybody's got to wait till March, but if NVIDIA gets sneaky in February and puts out a 5060, yeah, you're right. It's all over for AMD. It's all over for the low end for AMD. Yes, it's all over with. But also, too, they're saying the 5090 and the 5080 ain't that great neither. That you're getting more action out of the 40 series than you are the 50 series. So, I don't know. Is it looking like you guys are going to ask me, am I going to buy a 50 series card? Maybe in a year? I'm not looking to buy one right now. I got the 40 series. I'm not looking to buy the 50 series. Because I'm going to save my money for the best of the best when it comes to a graphics card. When I see something that comes to light, that exhilarates me, that makes me want to buy it, that's going to be the time that I buy it. Right now, I don't feel it's that time. And the reason why I don't feel it's that time is because I got such a great graphics card as it is. And I know everybody says the 4070 ain't nothing but a crap card. I hate to beg to differ. When I'm running on Ultra in some of my games, and I'm getting 130 to 200 FPS, and I'm running DSR, Dynamic Screen Resolution, on NVIDIA, at 1440p, do you think I'm really going to give that up? Now that I really see what DSR is all about, and it makes it just as great, even better, yeah, why should I go with AMD graphics card? What do they got to offer? Well, let's see. I tried DSR on AMD's graphics card, and it's nothing but a joke. I go on NVIDIA's graphics card, and I go to play DSR. I only got to click one button, and it's enabled. I don't have to jump through hoops like I do with AMD software. And that's the reason why I don't have an AMD's graphics card. I took the one that I bought for a friend, donated it to them for their Christmas present. And that's it. They're happy with it. They don't do overclocking. They just game with it. That's it. They don't do anything else. I update the drivers for them, and I help them out. But they don't do anything with it. They don't overclock. That card, that 7800 XT, is not an overclocking card. It's not an OC model. So, I got it on the cheap. I got it for $429, brand new out of the box. So I got it for cheap. But it's still a good graphics card for what they're doing and the games they play. It's perfect for them. Now the games I play, on the other hand, and content creating and everything else, that requires me to have an NVIDIA graphics card. But the 50 series, guys, I've been thinking about this ever since the 30th when they launched. I've been thinking about this. I've saw everybody's reviews. I didn't get one, so I can't give you a breakdown of that card. But I can tell you my opinion, because I do have a 40 series card that does get part of DLSS 4 that I am happy about. And I'll tell you what, the 40 series still has life being breathed into it. So if you want to fool yourself and give up your 4090, well, truthfully, with that power plug, yeah, I wouldn't give it up too. I would give that card up any day. And I would go with a 5090. To be honest with you, I would go to the 5090 because it's got the 12 volt high power 6+6. So that means they broke up the power a little bit, made it even more efficient. But that card hitting over almost close to 700 watts, the OC model. That makes me beg to differ about that power plug. How long that's going to be before it catches fire. So, now you can see there's a lot on the plate. But here's even more what's on the plate. And you know I won't do politics on this channel. But you need to know this. And this is a part of what I was going to talk about today anyway. It seems the good old President of the United States decided to put a 10% tariff on all chips. All chips. That includes motherboards, that includes RAM, that includes CPUs, that includes everything about a PC. So, the stock that they got now, they could either, the way companies could do it is they could raise the prices to meet that 10% tariff early and screw the public, or they can wait until that bill goes into effect because it's aimed towards Taiwan. They say it's aimed towards China, but believe it or not, it's aimed towards Taiwan as well. It's aimed towards both. Because if China makes the product, then it's going to go back to what? Come on. 5090 can be undervolted, which is true. About 540 watts. Yeah, that's true. But if you're going to buy a 5090, are you really going to run it at 540 watts and cripple the knees on it? You might be right. You might have to because of the 9800X3D. It cripples the knees on that too. So, that's something to think about, man. That is something to think about. That you have to restrict the wattage because it's too powerful of a card. And if you're not running at PCIe 5.0 x16, and you're not running your SSD at 4.0 x4 for your operating system and 4.0 x4 for your games, I don't know. Well, from what I've seen from different reviews, pseudoscientists, they tell me that, yeah, it does cripple the 9800X3D. And that's not even on an overclock. And I heard that from a couple good technicians out of Florida, too. Same thing. I don't have the card, but I do get the information. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But if you run that Intel PresentMon from Intel, that benchmarking tool, to see where your latency is on GPU busy, that will help you minimize the issues between your 9800X3D and the 5090. You can balance it better using that benchmarking software, and it will help you and be your guide to balance it to get it running perfectly to where you can get more performance with less wattage. Do remember, mine's running at 200 watts, and I'm getting 200 FPS off of my 4070. And that's before the new software upgrade. So I'm getting even much more FPS. But I'm also too getting better textures now because of the transformer model. The transformer model. If you set it up correctly, and the NVIDIA app, which that's what we're going to talk about too, because we're going to go to the NVIDIA app and we're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. This gives you guys a good idea of what I'm talking about. So this way, you don't miss a thing. You don't miss a thing. So, now, we're going to go to the action screen, like we always do. And I'm going to take you guys from the home page right here. And I know I don't have the big cursor. You just have to get over yourself. We're going to go to the graphics settings. We can go right here to Cyberpunk. And see, I have an optimize button right here. I can hit that at any time I want. Look at all this. It's got FSR. It's even got AMD stuff in here. And I don't have an AMD. Well, I have an AMD CPU, but you know, we have to look at the possibilities of what this does. All the possibilities. This says the DLSS override. I haven't set that up yet. The super resolution, the frame generation, and the model preset, I haven't set it up yet. So we'll hit optimize. And we'll fix that in Cyberpunk. But yes, it does have the frame generation, the super resolution, and the transformer model. So you have to set that up manually in Cyberpunk, save it, and then come over here and then save your settings over here. There's a way you got to do it. I'm still researching on that. But there's a way you have to do it to set it up to where you can get it activated here on this screen. So there's a little bit more you got to do to activate all the special presets right here on this screen. So, but I got, look at this. I got all the ray tracing stuff that I need. So, I mean, it's not rocket science. We'll fix this when it comes to that. Okay. So, if you're wondering how I would eliminate the bottlenecking, I would use Intel's benchmarking tool, PresentMon, which I'll bring that up. And I'll go back to the action screen to bring you all to it. Let's see. Okay. This is Intel's PresentMon. Right here. Intel PresentMon. It's very simple. The process is here. It'll tell you what game it is. You can do it manually or you can hit enable. So, but you guys, it's on my main screen, so I would have to bring it up to the settings. Let's see if see, that's one thing that they should have, if I'm right about this, they should have a second screen on here for this. I think they should have a second screen somewhere. Should be here in capture. But default adapter, let's change that to the 4070. Let's see. Yeah, they should have a secondary screen on this. So But that would be cool. That would be cool. Let me turn that on manual. So, I think that would be cool. That way you guys could see what I see. Well, actually, you guys can see what I can see. Duh. Let me fix it. Let me think. Oh, it's been a while since I've messed around on this. Let's see. Display capture. We'll go to primary. Okay. Now, we'll get this out of the way. Okay. So what I can do is this. I can take and turn around. Watch this. This is the overlay. I can minimize this. And there's the overlay. So you can see I'm running at 2 FPS. Let's see. 550 watt, got two 300 watt CPUs, extra close to 1000 watts to play mostly older games. I start thinking buying a light bar might serve me better. Cheap 550 watt GPU. Okay, well, if you want to do something like that, yeah. But for me, I would never do that because I would rather run one PSU than two, especially when you got DC flotational DC. Basically, that means it's not it's going by a floating ground and it's not going by a direct ground. Because if you direct ground two GPUs and you run that through two GPUs through your PC setup, you'll have a static discharge. So it's best to run one. I run 750 watts, man. I run 750 watts. And I have no issue with the 750 watts. Oh, I still got my face over here, don't I? I got my face over there. No, I don't got my face over there. Let's see. Okay. This is present mon. Present mon. Right here. So, this shows GPU busy, frame time, and believe it or not, I'm only doing 0.43 milliseconds, and GPU utilization's right there. Tells me everything I need to know. Pseudoscientist says, I meant 209 to 300 watt CPU. Oh, okay. Just one. I was adding up the electrical bill. Might want to grow weed instead. Way off topic. Yeah. Hey, I got it, man. I got it. But let me go back to there. I was just showing you guys what you can do to make your life easier. Okay? If you want to make your life easier instead of harder, I would suggest and this is a suggestion, I would suggest utilizing everything you got, keeping everything you got for now until they come out with something better. Just my opinion. Khalif, good to see you. Just now I joined. What did I miss? Well, nothing much. We were sitting there rapping about the 50 series and the disaster they had at Micro Center. You know what didn't make sense to me about that was that the one in Tustin, California had over 240 GPUs for the sale. That's a mixture of the 5090 and the 5080. But the other stores across the country didn't have that much. Some were claiming to have 4 to 5 5090s and like 75 5080s. So it was a disaster jump. That's what I thought. Just buy an NVIDIA GPU to get free fake frames. You know, they got NVIDIA's going to be coming out in the future with that new fluid motion frame that, you know how AMD's got their fluid motion frame? Now NVIDIA's got one coming out. So they're catching up with the times. I know everybody talked well about the fluid motion frame from AMD, but now NVIDIA's got one coming out. I can't remember the damn name of that too. Let me see if I can look it up. Maybe y'all can tell me in the comments what the name of that is. So, can't remember the name of that. My brain must be fried because all the traveling I did all day long. Probably. Let's see. I know I typed it in somewhere, and I'm looking for that now. I am looking for that now. Guys, I mean, I'm looking for it. Smooth motion. It's going to be the new thing for NVIDIA, smooth motion. So, it's supposed to be similar to AFMF, but we don't know. So, we will see. 5090 to 3,719 here. Oh, I got a picture for y'all. I have a picture for you all that's gonna make you really. I got a picture that's just gonna make you think about buying a graphics card. And this was not handmade, neither. This picture will make you think twice about buying a 50 series. It will make you really think about it. That's if it ever pops up. Let's see. I'm looking for it, guys. I got it somewhere. I got it somewhere. I want to show you guys this picture. This picture is monumental. This is just so monumental. It's okay. I found it. This I took a snapshot yesterday for graphics card nightmares. Yesterday. I took this for graphics card nightmares. This is real. This is no BS. This is real. This is real. This is on eBay. Right here. $100,000, guys. Can you believe that? Can you believe they're asking $100,000 for a graphics card? I snapshotted this and saved it for y'all. $100,000 for a 5090. Will be similar here in Canada, I guess 3 to 4K. Let's see. I will not buy a GPU. I will not buy a CPU and a motherboard. I will buy a CPU and motherboard only. I don't blame you. I would do the same thing. I wouldn't buy a GPU right now. No way. I have a 4090, still good GPU. Founders Edition, temp 80 plus. Well, if you're happy with it, roll with it. That's the way I always say it. But, guys, this is nuts. This is crazy. This is nuts. Can you believe that? I'm going to get a big cursor out because I don't think you guys are understanding where I'm coming with this. I really don't. Because I just want to see who's going to be the one to buy that graphics card. I want to see who's going to buy this. I had to get the big cursor out because y'all ain't seeing what I'm talking about. So, that is crazy. 100,000. Nuts. What we're going to do is, we're going to go on eBay just to have a little look. And we're going to go to eBay. eBay. You know, they're probably going to end up suing me if I keep doing this. Okay. Let's see. We're in the 5090 zone. 5090. $5,300. Look at this. 59. Almost 6,000. 8,000. Keep going. Look at this. You get a whole piece of paper for $5,400. $11,999, guys. Look at this. It says read description. Okay, this is another thing. I don't want any of my viewers to get scammed like this. This right here is not for you. This says the item description right here. If you are a human, do not buy this. You will just get a piece of paper with a picture on it. Bots only. Nuts. Crazy. Sick. Nuts. Oh my God. 10,000. Damn. $10,000. Wow. And guys, look at this. This right here. This right here. This. We need to look at this. We need to look at this, and I'm going to tell you why. Look right there. It's a reviewer sample. This is an actual reviewer sample. They should be ashamed of themselves being a reviewer and asking $6,300 for a reviewer sample graphics card. You should be ashamed of yourself. Ashamed. When you got reviewers like me trying to get with these companies to get, something to show the community. We can't do that because you guys are ripping them off. And if NVIDIA sees this, I hope they review it and they do see who it's from. And they do take it away from you and give it to a responsible person. This is nuts. This is nuts. This is a reviewer sample. And I don't care what anybody says. You can take and write all you want in Reddit or wherever. You can't exchange the truth. I'm not like any other reviewer. I'm going to call you out. And if you don't like it, then get another job. Do not rip the public off selling them a reviewer sample. You think it's the golden silicon? Are you crazy? I see a lot of reviewers doing this. They should not, companies should tell the reviewers, you cannot give that away, at least for one whole year. They should make that, and I think that's a part of the thing they signed. Whatever it's called. Who cares? That's just plain dishonest bull. This is plain dishonest. Dishonest. I'm going to read what you guys are telling me. So, I'm going to read it out to the pub. So that way you guys know. Let's see. I'll catch back up. I have a 4090 Aorus Master. Awesome, bro. I feel the 70. I mean the 9070. What's 7070? Oh, 5070 Ti. Oh, okay. I got you, bro. 5070. My bad. Yeah, the 5070 Ti might be good, but you still got to look at the fact that the 4070 Super's nipping on the heels of the 5070 Ti. Not a lot of people are looking at that. So, keep that in mind. That will be a sweet spot, 5070 Ti. I've been saying that, for the last couple weeks in Discord, guys. I've been saying that for the last couple weeks in Discord. Actually, before they even released it, if you go back on some of the live videos we did, I did say that the 5070 Ti is going to be the mid spot of it all. But I do agree with you. I do agree. If AMD 9070, good GPU, they will release a Super. Possible. But looking at such a gap between the 4080 and the 4090, they could release two GPUs. They could release the 4080 Super and they could release a 4080 Ti Super in between that gap. Now, between the 5070 Ti and the 5080, there's not so much of a gap. You only got, like 700 cores to work with? There's not much of a gap there. So I don't really see them doing anything in between even doing a Ti Super, because it's so close from the 5070 Ti to the 5080. That's what makes the 5070 Ti more interesting, is because it's so close to the 5080, and with the software, it just pushes it right over the 5080. So you're best off, you're right, to get the 5070 Ti if you're going to get one. Perfect choice. So, NVIDIA left too much room above the 50. Yeah, they did. They left too much room. But guys, you seeing what I'm seeing. You're seeing what I'm seeing. Okay? You are seeing what I'm seeing. This is actually, this right here, no. Reason why is because they got that, they probably photoshopped that out of Google Images. This, don't even think about getting something like this. Look at right here. It says delayed, signature required, delayed, product price. Look at the taxes on that thing. Wow. You know, I never paid that many taxes on mine. And I got mine from Amazon. All right, enough with the e-waste. I mean eBay. I think we got the picture. I think y'all got the picture about that. I think we got the picture about the e-waste. I mean eBay. It is a scalper's fantasy land right now. I'm sorry, guys. I have to call it out for what it is. And I have to notify the public that they're doing scams nonstop on eBay. And if eBay doesn't do anything about it and it rips off the public, then they're going to be held liable. All I'm doing is bringing the information up. So that covers my butt as far as this video. I'm just bringing the information up. So that way they understand what they're dealing with. And I want to make sure that my subscribers or my viewers do not get ripped off by scalpers. And believe it or not, now, after all this time, some of the other reviewers are now stepping up and saying something about the scalpers, the scammers. They're now saying something about it. I was rolling through YouTube, and I see them ask questions about scalpers. It's common sense. You don't go to eBay, go to these sites, go to Facebook. It's common sense. It's right in front of you. The information. Why do you need to ask the public? Is that going to get the scalpers to respond? They ain't going to respond to that because they're using scalper bots. They don't care anymore. They got one bank account that's latched to a scalper bot that's going and buying graphics card like crazy. And this is the stupidity of everybody. They think that they're going to buy off of eBay. That's the last place a scalper is going to buy from. They sell from, but they don't buy from. They don't buy from eBay. They learn their lesson. They wait until the product comes up on Amazon, Newegg, one of these big sites that sell it for MSRP. So they can go scalp them, pull them back to eBay, and sell them for 6 to 10 times what they're worth. So, I never buy GPUs online. Well, I buy it from Amazon. That's online. So, I've never had the problem. Never had that problem. So, it depends on where you buy from. I mean, you got to remember, you guys are not the only ones. There's many out there that try to go buy PC parts because they want to upgrade their system, but they get caught in this situation to where they thought a respectable seller, but they don't heed the warnings on YouTube about people scalping for, like what I just showed you, $5,000 to $6,000 for a piece of paper. Could you imagine somebody say, "Oh, that's a really good deal on the GPU. I'm going to go buy it." Boom. They get a piece of paper in the mail. Have a nice day, scalper bot. That's exactly what they're going to get. because they stated it right there in front of everybody. Last place everybody does is they don't go down all through the page and look on eBay. They don't look all the way to the bottom. They just look at the picture in front, hit buy, and they're done. It's such a... I just want to see anybody get ripped off. That's the whole idea of me saying something as being a reviewer for you all, being concerned. What concerns me right now is the fact that the consumers are not being taken care of like they're supposed to, and there's a lot of criminal violations that are being done. I'm sure in time the U.S. government will catch on to it, like the FTC and them. I'm sure they'll catch on to what all this big business is about, and they're going to put the hammer down on them. If I sell something, I sell it legitimate. And believe it or not, I even going to leave you a little thing at the bottom saying, go watch my video, and leave the link for the video and put there, go watch my video before you buy. Before you buy, go watch my video on this product. Common sense, guys, common sense. You want to sell an honest product, you want people to buy an honest product, use common sense on the honest product. And if you sell the product, make sure that person that's buying will receive that product. If they don't want, they want to send it to somewhere else, no. Refuse that to happen and refuse the transaction. Because they're selling your product to somebody else on your behalf and taking the credit for it. So, anything that I sell goes to the person, and they're going to have to message me and respond to me, so I know for sure it's not a bot. Because I have a series of 10 questions I will ask you. If I sell on eBay, I will have a series of 10 questions I will ask you. And if you can't get anything close to what I ask you, then I know it's a bot. And I'll just cancel the transaction and you'll have a nice day. See, that's me looking out for the consumer. Because when you buy a product, you want to buy a product that's honest. So, since we're talking about honesty, and we got a lot of people in here so far, fight to live. No one is going to answer those 10 questions. Well, you know what? Then they're not going to get the product now, don't you think? So, that's as simple as that. I'll sell the product. It might take a while for me to sell the product, but you're going to find that one person that really wants to buy that product. I just want to... Look, it's an example, okay? It's just an example. Said and put. Just an example. So don't get excited about it. It's just an example. So, what the problem is there's no safeguards. When consumers go and buy products, there's no safeguards. And that's got to change. Just like and we all know who the real scalpers are. Look what Intel did. Oh, you can get a 200 and they work you up so much to that $250 to where it's just good enough to go buy. Tell me, and I want you all to answer to this. Tell me, how many times did you see Intel replenishing the $250 graphics cards? How many times? From Intel. How many times? Somebody said they seen it once. I've only seen it the first time for 15 minutes. Not even that. Because when they launched it, I was right there, and they were gone. They were gone. I'd say at least 5 minutes. They were gone. As soon as I clicked on it, within the 5 minute time period, poof. And how long it took Intel to replenish that? You all should know the answer to this. They were sitting there selling them gunnier B580s for $400. And you really think about it, if they're selling those gunnier GPUs, the B580s, for $400, and they just come out with the 5070, they're going to come out with the 5070 for $550. So for $150 more, you're telling me you ain't going to go buy a B570? Or no, you're not going to go buy a RTX 5070? And you're going to buy a B580 over a 5070? Do the math? I don't think you are. I really don't think you are. And it took Intel several months to get another company in there to sell for $250. Or actually $265. I think it's like the Onyx or something. For $260 and $270 on Newegg. Come on, guys. It's all common sense. This is a cash grab. This time right now, it's a cash grab. Because the simple fact it's a cash grab is because they know the tariffs are going to hit China, supposedly today, as we speak. And all the prices on graphics cards are going to go up like crazy. That's what I hear. But they forgot TSMC is here in Arizona. They got their foundry out in Arizona too, which is not at 100% just yet, but by next year it will be. So, what do you guys think about that? I mean, if they produce in the United States, it's going to be expensive. All the prices are going to go up. Not unless there's some kind of fine line and some ceiling that has been put out there so they don't jack the price up to 3 times the amount of the graphics card being worth. So, if they make graphics cards here in the United States, they're going to be 3 times as high as they are getting made from China. It's just bottom line. Yeah, you're right. The cost will be more. The cost will be through the freaking roof. It'll be out of this world. You wouldn't be able. You'd have to take and pawn your car just to get a graphics card. By the time 2030 hits, you would actually have to sell your house and pawn your car to buy a graphics card. It seems the scalpers are getting all set for the 100,000 because they know when 2030 comes around, that 100,000 is going to be right there, and that's what it's going to cost for a graphics card. NVIDIA needs to wake up to these prices, and AMD and Intel, they really need to get on the board partners, the AIB partners, and tell them they need to lower the price. Don't matter how good that graphics card is, because if you can't meet price to performance, it's not worth nothing to the gamer. And remember, the gamer section in this world is only a 30% market share. Well, actually, no, a 40% market share. And the rest of it is big business. So, Other than Sony being up in the air about getting backlash that AMD is using their processor instead of Sony using their own provisional CPU or GPU or whatever. So Sony's getting a lot of backlash for the PlayStation. Microsoft's getting a lot of backlash for the Xbox. And also, too, bringing up Microsoft, God, they're going to discontinue, and I know I'm just going off the edge right now, they're going to discontinue Windows 10 October the 14th of this year. So if you are on older hardware, you got no choice, but you're going to be stuck there. Because once they do that little provisioning stuff they always do, to where you have to have a specific specification of the TPM 2.0 and the pop count on the CPU. And they start embedding this into, and I mean seriously embedding and taking away all those little tricks that they have on the software. Then anybody that's got Windows 11 on unsupported hardware, you'll have no choice but to go back to Windows 10. Let me tell you why. Windows 11 23H2 will be discontinued October this year. Discontinued. That means they're not making no more updates or anything else for it. They want everybody to go to Windows 11 24H2, and they're going to force everybody to go over there. So if you currently got 23H2, they're going to sooner or later, they're going to update your computer for you, from what I'm hearing. F NVIDIA, they owe me. Yeah, Dr. Blitz, hey, this 50 series launch is a disaster. It's a serious disaster to me. I know it is to y'all guys. I know it's a disaster because there's people out there that stood in line at Micro Center. For 2 to 3 days in rain, sleet, and snow. Oh my God. And got told there was no more graphics cards. They sold out. That's the reason why when they do a launch like this, I'm not running out to these stores. I'm not going to sit my butt in the cold for 2 to 3 days. Hell no. There ain't no PC part in this world that is worth that much. Especially when my system is just that damn good. Why would I do it? No. 2 nights at Micro Center with no tent. And if you did, I have my heart out for you. I understand. If I remember right, back in 1986, this was so long ago, when I was hot and heavy in the beginning in computers. From 84 to 86, I was going heavy in there. Best Buy had a deal on a hard drive And it was a biggie hard drive. I think it had 1 terabyte of hard drive space. And yes, it was a mechanical drive. They had it on sale for $56. I had to have it. I had to have that drive. I sat 3 days between the sun and the sweltering down in Florida, waiting to get that hard drive. All I had was an umbrella and a lot of prayers. And believe it or not, I got that drive. And I still got it here today with me. I brought that drive with me. I still got it here today. And believe it or not, after 30 days, that drive took a crap. And the company said they weren't going to honor the warranty. I kept the drive, thinking maybe one day I might want to take it apart and see what 1984 to 86 technology looked like inside. Just a thought I had. But you know how that goes. So, I know you guys are thinking, is the 50 series worth it? Do the math. If you've already got a 40 series card, you're already getting some of the perks of DLSS 4. I don't see why you would want to go get the 50 series at this point. I really don't. You want to spend that extra $2,000 to just play an extra couple hundred FPS? And the bottom line rule is that anything that's over 60 FPS that's not stuttering and you're not artifacting on, that's it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Simple. And if you're getting the best graphics in the world, why would you want to get that? Especially when the 40 series is already AI capable. The 40 series, 30 series, and 20 series, all those series are already AI capable. Why would you want to go and spend that extra money for what? Aesthetics? Price to aesthetics? I really thought about this. I really thought about this. Before I wanted to start doing this live stream today, I really thought about what I was going to say. And I did not want to disappoint you guys whatsoever. Even though that I know I'm 5 hours late because of real life, and I do apologize for that once again. But gave me enough time to think and really think to myself, one, I don't think I'm really going to be going for a 9070 XT because of the shady stuff AMD just pulled with their graphics card. What? We all know the truth. We all know that they said in a post the only reason that they didn't do their presentation was they didn't have enough time. Okay, they did a 45-minute presentation talking about Microsoft, talking about Dell or something like that. And only spent 30 seconds talking about the 9070 XT. 30 seconds. And said, stay tuned. I had over 120 some people on my stream that day when they did that, and they screwed me completely. Intel did. Totally pissed me off. and everybody that was watching on my stream. So, any theories why NVIDIA did that to us? Yeah. You know about the shell game, right? You got three main companies in this world that produces chips. Three main companies. They're called Intel, AMD, and NVIDIA. Three of them. Two of them produces CPUs and GPUs. One of them, right now, at this current time, is only producing GPUs. But in the future, it's going to be putting out CPUs as well. Both. So, keep all that in mind. One, you know AMD's got 35% market share. You know Intel's got 5% market share, so that's 40. And the rest of the 60, NVIDIA has. If you really want to count the $600 billion they just lost a couple days ago. Because of DeepSeek or whatever that is. Why would I worry about DeepSeek when all Windows programs has Copilot that connects directly to the internet? Why would I worry about DeepSeek when I got something that's 5 times as powerful for no money? It's free. DeepSeek can't cut that. As long as you get the right equipment, DeepSeek can't cut that. So, going back to what we were talking about, the theories. Okay. The theory of this is this. NVIDIA was calling out AMD's hand. If you do the math, AMD stopped and at last minute because this was leaked by a box store that sells their GPUs, that they got out there and said that AMD was going to sell their graphics cards for $900. The 9070 XT for $900. And some other price for the 9070 and the 9060. But a day later, AMD gets out there and says to everybody, hey, no, that's not how it works. That's not what we're doing. That's not, they kept throwing daggers at this. Daggers. To hush the story up. They wanted to hush the story up for a reason. This is the game. Now you're going to come into the game of it. So, but going from CES, and that point right there, AMD overheard what NVIDIA was going to do with their graphics card and their presentation. So AMD is like, oop, and they changed it on the fly. Their presentation. They changed it on the fly. And Lisa Su wasn't there to do the presentation. You know Lisa Su is always on stage to do those presentations at CES because that's her biggest marketing. She is the CEO. She is the marketing of that company. She wasn't there. Big red flags. I knew something was up. That was big red flags. Is even more big red flags with Intel. The reason why they did what they did. They have no CEO. Pat Gelsinger was fired or he quit, one or the other. So moving away from Intel, now we're still dealing on AMD. Now, NVIDIA, you know Jensen gets hold of this information. He's going to play it for everything he can. So when he does his presentation, he did it deliberately to embarrass AMD on their new GPUs. What did he do? He turned around and told a fable to everybody. Y'all didn't catch it. He says what AI can do. AI. And everybody knows that AI is not artificial intelligence. Everybody knows right now in this time and day, it's algorithm intelligence. Not artificial, because it's written software. It's algorithm software intelligence. Common sense. He knows this. So he puts out there the 5070 is going to be faster than the 4090. He did it right like that and said, with AI. AMD got scared. They're like, holy crap, no way. This is not all the story. Just stick with me. Don't go anywhere. This story is going to get even better. So tell your friends to come back and get on the stream, because it's going to get even better. So, with all that going on, AMD's stuck in a pickle. They're like, we were just about to sell these cards for $900. And guess what? We can't. We're going to lose market share if we sell these cards at $900. We got to lower the prices. Now AMD's giving vouchers out to these companies. Reimbursements. They've been doing it, and I've heard it from a couple people I know that are overseas that buys from AMD. And AMD is doing the reimbursement thing. That's all I can tell you. I can't tell you any more than that on that end of AMD, but there is reimbursement going on. So, now you got AMD holding themselves in a pickle. Guess what they do? They're not sure of their RDNA 4 if it's ready. So they postpone it and say, okay guys, bottom line, we got to go to March. We can't launch in January, February. We can launch in March, probably by the end of the month that they'll launch. Then Jensen says, oh, wait a minute. Here comes another part of this story. Jensen says, oh, wait a minute. We got a problem here. If they're going to launch in March, what is that going to do to the 5070 and the 5070 Ti? So rumors get spread around really quick about the 5060 and the 5060 Ti being launched in February. And then the 5070 and the 5070 Ti being postponed to March, when AMD launches their 9070 XT and the 9070. You guys are just not seeing this whole story. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You're just not seeing the story. I'm telling you the story because this is the way I'm seeing it. And end of the day, when it comes to the launch day for AMD and NVIDIA in March, Jensen's going to sweep the market. Because by then, everybody's going to be so curious about the 5070 and the 5070 Ti. I don't know if they're really going to be focused on the 9070 XT or the 9070. Not unless AMD pulls a rabbit out of their hat and says, okay, the 9070 XT is now $499. There's rumors being spread about that too. Now, take the rumors as, take it with a grain of salt, as a leak for right now. But that is what's going around. They're not really looking at the price to performance for the 5080 and the 5090. People know what they do. The benchmarks are out there. That's said and done. That's in the past now. Now it's coming down to the 5070, the 5070 Ti, the 5060, and the 5060 Ti. Is the 5060 Ti and the 5060 going to launch in February? That's the question. That's what AMD's trying to think about right now. What the hell? Especially if Jensen decides to do a $400 5060 Ti or a $300 5060 Ti and decides to do the 5060 at $200 to cut out Intel with their $250 graphics card, and they do on the 5060 12 gigabytes of VRAM, and definitely with the software cuts out Intel into their market share with the 5060. Killing two birds with one stone. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. You guys heard the stories. You guys heard the leaks. Put it all together. You tell me. I'm telling you what I hear. And from what I'm seeing on all this, with it all combined, I compiled everything together. This is what I'm coming up with. So, this is going to be the test of truth. Is NVIDIA going to knock out AMD's market share with the 5060 and the 5060 Ti? They're going to corner the market, guys. It's coming. It's coming. You know it's coming, and I know it's coming. Even Jensen said, well, I'm not playing in the low end. Yeah. You don't leave money on the table. Trust me. You do not leave that money on the table. No matter hell or high water, you don't leave that kind of money on the table. So, and I know he ain't going to leave that kind of money on the table. And if he knocks out AMD about their graphics card and Intel about their graphics card, they don't have a shot. Everybody's going to jump ship from AMD to NVIDIA. And what's really gonna blow your mind, and yes, this is just water, guys. This is just water. And what's really gonna blow your mind, what are you gonna do at the end of this year if NVIDIA comes out with a new CPU? We already know it's going to be the Grace CPU. It's an ARM CPU. And he's going to first start off with laptops. It's going to be laptop city for him. Especially with, and I'm hearing this, they're working on Windows 12 more advanced in AI ever than anybody could ever believe. And, well, I'm hearing that your operating system is going to be in the cloud. That's what I'm hearing that Microsoft might be working on. So, your operating system is going to be up in the cloud. I said this about 2 years ago. So, hello Antonio, good to see you. AMD market share 12 to 17 max. It used to be 35. That got changed. Especially when they slowed down on making graphics cards. It used to be 35. Now it's down to, yeah, I do agree with the 12 to 17. If people can't buy 50 series, they'll grab AMD. But if they can grab 40 series, they'll still grab 40 series because the software. Look, on my 4070, I don't use frame generation a lot. Because remember, frame generation on 40 series is only one frame. It's one whole frame to one illusion frame. I call it an illusion frame. You got one solid frame to one illusion frame. But if they bring out that new smooth motion, it'll go one solid frame to one illusion frame and then back to one solid frame. Because that's what that smooth motion's supposed to be. It's supposed to give that solid frame in between, you know, the AI injected frames, you could say. But, hello, Antonio. I'll wave again to you. That only lasts 2 years when the release of the 7900 XTX. Yeah, but if you remember, they said in their keynote, AMD did, that the 7900 XTX would dominate. And I remember because I streamed that video right here. That live stream for that keynote I did right here on that day. They said it would dominate the 4090. Come on, guys. It's not rocket science. You know the truth is out there. So I'm not going to tell you a fable. I'm going to tell you the truth. You know, I'm telling you the real deal. It's not a fable. So, and they're kind of tight-lipped now about the 9070 XT. When did they become so shy about their graphics cards? They used to praise their damn graphics cards so much. What did they lose at AMD that was so bad? You guys know the answer to this question. They cut loose one of their favorite guys to do their presentation. And he had what it took to sell graphics cards. So, I can tell you, when it comes to who they have now for their marketing, they're not doing such a good job. I mean, think about it. NVIDIA did their keynote at CES and blew everybody out of the water with what they said. And what did they say that blew everybody out of the water? Said, I guarantee the 5070 is more powerful than the 4090 with AI. He's correct. AI is not changing the texture. AI is just regeneration of the frame. It's not changing the texture. It's just redrawing the next frame. So, yeah. What's different about 40 series and their frame generation? What's the difference with AMD's frame generation? What's the difference with Intel's frame generation? Absolutely nothing. They're all fake frames. AMD's got it. Intel's got it. NVIDIA's got it. It's like the herpes. Really? So, not judging just one company because they got it. Judge all the companies because they got it. Maybe not the herpes. I hope not. But you guys know what I mean, right? So, think about it. It's common sense. It is common sense. I played on my GPU AMD's frame generation. It totally sucks. It does. It totally sucks. Under my graphics card, it sucks. I don't know about everybody else, but my opinion, I told you guys, if the hardware is good, I'm going to tell you. If the hardware is bad, I'm going to tell you. Either way, I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to tell you, AMD's frame generation sucks. So unless they show me that something looks better, I'm still going to be at that same note until they show me something better, either on the 7000 series GPUs, or they show in their software update for the games that they said they open sourced their frame generation to all NVIDIA. So, we'll see. We will see. I'm not going to be around the bush with you guys. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to be downright honest with you. It's common sense. I've been doing this stuff for 36 years. As, well, I can't say professionally. I can tell you as a hobby. I've been doing it for 36 years. But in the background, I've built computers for friends, customers, and stuff like that. Yes, I've done it all. Okay? Done it all. But I did it as a side job. Not as a professional job, as a side job. But I've never had people come back once on my computers. Never had that happen. Except for the Christmas build of 2023. Which that was an AMD blooper. Not my fault. So, keep that in mind. That's the only one I ever had come back. But that was a driver issue with AMD that I had on the 7800 XT. So, but I fixed it. So, I'm just going to tell you guys straight up. If you're desperate for a graphics card, you got the 40 series. You still got a lot of good software with the 40 series. It's not done and dead yet. You got the 50 series. There might be, I would say wait until after July, about June or July, somewhere in there. Maybe around August, when it's the low time of the month and the prices come down. If you could wait it out, I would wait it out until after August. Until all the dust settles. And then these companies start pumping out graphics cards. Right and left. Right now, what they're doing is, they're all doing this to make more money, to jack up the price. NVIDIA's doing it, AMD's doing it, and Intel's doing it. It's proof in the pudding with Intel. Because, number one, they only put out how many B580s? Come on. And they went sold out in less than 15 minutes. And they didn't replenish any until the end of January. From December to the end of January. And they were supposed to do a new replenishment in March. But what they didn't tell everybody, that they posted out there to the whole community and said they were going to keep consistent by building graphics cards and sending them out every 7 days. They lied. 5090 Founders Edition or Asus Astral, I can't decide. That's my decision. Right there. That's my decision right there. And I'll tell you why. Asus and their overclocking model are a beast. They are nothing but a beast. They hit 3.3 gigahertz on the clock of the GPU. They're a beast. So, Astral has a water block as well. Yeah. Yeah. Don't buy a Founders Edition. You tell them why. You tell them why. Because that pass-through air on the 5090, that pass-through air is killing your CPU. No matter if you got a AIO cooler, a water cooler, or anything on it, that hot air coming out of that GPU is killing the CPU. It's killing the chips on the motherboard. From what friends are telling me right now. So, my honest opinion, even if you turn it vertical, it's still going to hit the motherboard. It's still going to kick out hot air. And if you like liquid metal, then go with it. I will never, ever, ever buy a graphics card with liquid metal inside and pre-pasted that way. No, never, 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 never. Nothing that is metallic should ever go in between your cooler and your GPU die. Never, because you'll crack the die. I've heard many of people using liquid metal and cracking the die on their GPU. Hell no. No, sir. Not happening here. Will never happen. When I start seeing the heat temperature go up on my GPU, that's the time I'm going to repaste it. But I'm not going to have hoops to jump through to repaste it. Because with the AIB partner cards are a lot easier to disassemble than the Founders Edition model. And with... Look, I was telling everybody in my Discord channel, they should have used reversible fans. Reversible fans to where it blows the hot air downwards, away from the motherboard. That takes the fresh air from the front of the case. Right here's the front of the case, sucks it in, and then splits the air off in between the mid and top of the case and down at the bottom. So that way the motherboard gets fully saturated with cool air. And then the GPU gets fully saturated with cool air. Because the air coming and bringing it down into the GPU. Hot air rises, guys. Hot air rises. Cold air doesn't. It's common sense. They should have reversed the fans to have the hot air blowing down. And they should have made a shroud that wraps around the bottom of the fan to push the air out the back side of it. Common sense. But pulling pulling that 60 degrees C temperature or 70 or 80 degrees C temperature up through your motherboard. It's killing your VRMs. It's killing your CPU, making your CPU run hotter. And your system RAM. Your system RAM's running hotter. Now it's running from 105 degrees to up to like 140 degrees. So it's killing your system RAM. You know, and it's killing many things. You really think I want a graphics card to do that? Hell no. So, do keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind when you're buying one of those graphics cards. What you're going to be up against. Think about it. You got a lot to think about because you're up against a lot with the Founders Edition. Now, coming to the AIB partner cards, with the pricing on the AIB partner cards, the 5090 is running at $2,800 on some of those AIB partners. $2,800. This world's gone crazy. And you guys know I did the math on this. $2,800, if you divide that by 2, is $1,400. And let me explain to you why. $1,400, you could buy a whole PC setup for $1,400. Well, actually, you could buy it for $1,200 and still save a couple $100 to put towards, let's say you want bigger system RAM. You know, you want to go the whole gusto. Or you're just updating and, you know, then if you're just updating your GPU and everything else is running good with your platform, I would get a $550 5070. Even though it's got 12 gigabytes of VRAM, so does my 4070. And why I got my 4070 instead of getting a 4090 or a 4080 or a 4070 Ti was because in the long run, if you look at the 40 series, and if you take a 4090 and divide that by 2, took all its stuff, and divide that by 2, there's your 4070. It's one half of a 4090. Now it looks like that the 5080 is one half of the 5090. Now it looks like the 5070 is 1/4 of the 5090. Do the math. If I'm going to break down the 5070 as 1/4 compared to the 5090, then the 5070 Ti is going to be one half. And then the 5080 is going to be 3/4. And then the 5090 is the whole gusto right there. So, is the price to performance going to be there with the 5070? Like the 4070, you're only looking at 5 to 7% more faster, maybe more. Some people are saying 15%. So is the 4070 Super is 15 to 16% faster than the 4070. So the 4070 or the 5070, sorry, my bad. So you look at the 4070 Super, 16% faster than the 4070, but what is it running at the same speed as the 5070? Or is it running at the same speed as the 5070 Ti? Makes you think about it, doesn't it? Makes you really think about it. Let's see. Well, you guys are waiting on the Astral, it looks like. Y'all are Asus fanboys. Y'all like that Asus. I had to, because somebody called me an NVIDIA fanboy. On one of my, they left a message on the video and called me an NVIDIA fanboy. I'm going to say this. I'm not a fan of the companies. I'm a fan of the hardware. It doesn't matter what company. If the hardware is good, then I'm going to praise it. I'm not talking about the companies. I'm talking about the hardware itself. That's what matters the most, the hardware. So, give me that Astral. Yeah. Now you caught it. Galax really good. Are you asking that as a question? Is Galax really good? I don't know. I couldn't tell you that. Some people say it is over in Europe. Some people over here, I haven't heard anything about it, but they could be. But I don't know if I want to take that kind of shot with a company I don't know about. AMD 9800X3D CPU with a 5090 GPU. Yeah, and a motherboard that's PCIe 5.0 X16. And with the same motherboard, it's got at least two PCIe 5.0 X4 M.2 SSDs, one that'll pass through the coprocessor and the other one that'll pass through to the CPU directly. This way you got an option to run a 5.0 X4 through the coprocessor and still keep the speed that you need with the 5.0 X16 5090 graphics card. And yeah, you can trick it like that. Running your operating system on a PCIe 4.0 X4, your operating system, and then running a secondary drive on the PCIe 5.0 X4 at 12,000 reads and 12,000 writes, or something close to that. Yeah, you will have a big advantage when you're running that motherboard. Make sure that motherboard can handle at least 8,000 microtransfers on the system RAM. And you balance it out really good. So by the time you get done doing all that and balancing the whole system out, you will have the best system for gaming, hands down. By eliminating most of the bottlenecking, yeah, you will. You just got to pick out the right motherboard. That's the trick. Just saying, guys. If you're going to get an X870, you better do an E version. I would. I will not go for RAM 1-to-1. I will go for 1-to-1. Okay, well, do you think my RAM in my computer right now runs 2-to-1? Do you really think that? My RAM split in 4 different directions, running 1600 X4. Well, X2, because it's two lanes. It's running 1600 X2. But let me give you a little helpful hint. I'm actually running 1700 X2 each lane. And I'm running 4 sticks inside of my computer. Everybody can say what they want. Oh, you lose speed. No, you don't. I have not yet seen that whatsoever on my PC. So, 9950X3D in March. It is being toasted out there, so it looks like it might be. Rumors have it that they're saying something in March. I did hear about that. But I did hear somebody say something in, what was it, August? So, currently the ROG Strix B650E F is what I have with the 9800X3D. That's not bad. The B650E, that's not bad. Look, guys, you can run the 5090 with PCIe 4.0 X16, okay? You're not going to be losing much. It's still set up for futuristic, better bandwidth. So, and band speed. So you still got an advantage on that graphics card. So that graphics card, even if you're on a 4.0 X16 slot, you will still have the advantage. You're not going to lose much FPS. You might lose between 10 and 15 FPS because of the speed. But that's nothing to worry about if you're getting 400 FPS. You have to look at it like that. So, now a lot of people are complaining about the 4.0 to the 5.0. So, if you don't want to switch your motherboard, then stay with the motherboard you got. It'll run good with the B650. Look, I'm running my 4070 on a B550. Okay? There are some people that run their RTX 4070 on a 10th gen. A 10th gen Intel processor. And they love it. So, it's not the end of the world. Let's see. Sorry I keep bobbing my head down like that, guys. I mean, B650, I got a B550, and I love my B550, so. A B850 would be even better. A B850E could be. Let's see. Yeah, you could do 6000 CL30 there, Kifa. But also, too, remember, you can do 6000 CL28 too. Keep that in mind. They got it out there, not unless it's not for sale, but I have heard people using CL28. So. I want to buy an X870E Tai Chi, but out of stock. Yeah. You can make 6200 CL28. Yeah, you could. I agree with that. I agree with that. But everybody's on this limited amount of saying doing it at 6,000. You can actually do it at 6,400 CL28. I heard some people out there are using that kind of RAM. But I don't see why you couldn't do 62. Well, you could do 6200 CL28, and you can overclock your RAM up 200 megahertz and make it 6400. So you save yourself about $50 to $75. Hey, don't take my word for it. I overclocked my RAM from 3200 megahertz to 3400 megahertz. There's only certain type RAM that you can get to go up 200 megahertz. That 200 megahertz might not be a much big deal for everybody, but that's actually a couple percent when you want to talk about performance. That's a couple percent. Every little thing you do to clock up your system to make it run perfectly, that's a couple percent here and there, and it adds up onto the FPS counter. So that's the way I look at it. Overclock for 5 FPS. Truthfully, I see the difference in the loading times. I see difference in a lot of, my startup for my Windows program. I see big difference. I really do see the difference. Yeah, it's not fully pushing it up to the moon, which I could push it to 3600 megahertz, and it'd be 3600 megahertz CL16, and I'll have 64 gigs of it. But why would I want to make my system so unstable? It's just not worth it. So I had mine set faster, but I get micro stuttering. Well, that's when you come to the point to where you get the stuttering and you work your way back slowly, in the frequency. And then, your big whole number, you take that, you go back a little bit each time until you get it to the point to where it doesn't stutter. And then you go back another 20 megahertz. And then you divide that by 2 and set your F clock in. That's it. You're done. Me, I found mine to be 33 megahertz. And I can still do it at CL18. Or not CL18. CL16, but with the F clock being at 1800 megahertz and run 33 megahertz. So yeah, you guys can fix it. Definitely fix it the way you want it. You just got to experiment just a little bit more. That's all. And I always say, test to get it right. And if you don't, you can always test some more until you get it balanced just perfectly to where you're not overheating your system RAM, but you're getting better performance without overheating. I only went up 1 degree in temperature on my system RAM. 1 degree. Because I got 4 sticks. 4 sticks. See what I'm talking about? 4 sticks. 4 sticks can handle 4 times the amount of frequency if you look at it. If you were to do it, you're doing it not daisy chained, but you're doing it stacked 2 by 2. So they can still handle it. If you run 2 sticks, you might have a problem with that. You run 4 sticks, you ain't going to have a problem with that. That's the whole idea of doing the overclock thing, I think. Fill up get all the same batch sticks. Fill up your RAM, system RAM, get in there and start tweaking and doing a little bit of overclocking, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you this. Corsair's got that LPX system RAM. I like that one. Out of all of them in this world, that's the one I use in my system every day. Every day. 7 days a week. And it has not let me down yet. So. Well, guys, looks like we're down to the last 3 minutes of the show. I'm not going anywhere just yet. I'm going to do my ending like I always do. What we talked about today was the 50 series GPUs. I'm going to tell you that if you want to buy one, go right ahead. Just don't get scalped. Don't buy from a scalper. If you can't buy one now, then wait until they come back out again and then buy one from a store that you trust, that you can get 3-year warranty, on top of that a 2-year factory warranty to get 5 years. You want a 5-year warranty on your graphics card. So give out a free 5090 at the end of the show. Yeah. I really wish I had them. I don't have them. I really wish I could, but I don't. Currently running a 3080. Antonio, look, 3080 is not a bad card. It is not a bad card. So, if it still runs and it's still working, you got all the perks. You have all the perks of the new software, the NVIDIA app. You have all the perks. Explore it. Enjoy it. You can play Cyberpunk with the Transformer model. You can do many of things. Yeah, you're going to have to balance out your display graphics a little bit better, but it still will run. Believe it or not. Yep, you can. You can fix that from... I agree with Khalifa. You can fix it with MSI Afterburner. That is true. Hello, damn surfer. Good to see you. My buddy was number 1 in line at the Micro Center covered by Gamers Nexus. There was only 4 5090s. Hold up. Hold the phone. So you're telling me that video that Micro Center put out was a lie? Are you telling me they just put a video out today stating they had... Should I show the video? Or, I'm not going to show the video. I'm going to do this. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to give you guys the link to that video. So, you can see it for yourself. Let's see. Let's move this out. Let's go to my history. Let's pull up the Micro Center thingy, and I'm gonna post it to you guys. I'm gonna post it to you. Let's see, and I'm taking too long in my search, so we'll get it. We will get it. So, we will get it. Okay, so we copy it. Okay, so there. There's the video. You guys can go watch that video right there and tell me the truth and reality if it's a lie or a fake. Oh, it's not that I'm not saying I don't believe you, but this is what they posted. This is what they posted today. And said there was much more. I went through the video. They said there was a lot more than what there was there. I believe you, believe it or not. I believe you. Because I've been hearing the same reports all over. You know. I've been hearing the same report. If they say they got a bunch of 5090s and a bunch of 5080s, and when the launch was done over by the next day, they still had a couple 5080s in stock at the Tustin, California Micro Center. No lie. And yeah, believe it or not, I seen a video from a reviewer that was out there at Micro Center in Tustin, California. So yeah, I understand 100%. Yeah. Yeah. See, because some of these big box stores already put out there, and they did the same thing NVIDIA did, but nobody caught it. They'd put out the same amount and they went graphics card to graphics card and put out the same amount that NVIDIA put out. And that was it. And says, oh, I'm delayed. And guys, understand this. They said over at TSMC, they had an earthquake, might have shattered 20,000 of the GPU dies. 20,000 of those rings, those little plates. Might have. But there's no GPU, there's no silicon shortage. I have friends over there in Taiwan, and they said there's no silicon shortage. So, you can believe what you want. If you can believe me or not, that's up to you. You know, you can take what I say with a grain of salt, or you can take it with gold. I just tell you what I know. So, it's simple as that. Who wants a 5080? I didn't want it. Yeah, a lot of people don't want it because it's one half of a 5090. Why would you want it? It's like you wanting the 50 or the 4070. Nobody wanted it because it was one half of the 4090. Yeah, I understand. There's no perk. Who wants to buy a 5080 with 16 gigabytes of VRAM? Who wants to buy a 5080 that has one half of the amount of cores that the 5090 has? So basically you got one half of a 5090 is a 5080. Now on the 40 series it's a little different. So I do understand. I'm happy enough with the 3080 and I won't settle for a 5080. I don't blame you. I wouldn't sell it for an either. I'm going to hold out for the Astro 5090. Good for you. Hold out for it. Wait for it. It'll be there. You know, Asus ain't going to miss a dollar. They're not going to miss that moment to get that dollar, so you know they're going to put them out there sooner or later. They're not going to wait. The only reason they're waiting is because NVIDIA told them to wait. This was all a marketing paper launch. That's why they said you have to wait until after March to start getting the graphics cards. It's all a 3-month paper launch. So, be patient and wait. I would. If I was spending that kind of money, $2,000, $2,800, yeah, I would wait. I mean, that's just me. That is just me. Toilet paper launch. Yeah, I agree. That's about what it is right now. Toilet paper launch. Some games eat up 20 gigabytes of VRAM. Yeah, I agree. Why do you think everybody says that they're going to run back to the... If you watched my graphics card nightmare yesterday, you'll see that they had on, what was it, Newegg, they had a 7800 XT, or 7900 XT, for like $649 or something like that. A 7900 XT with 20 gigabytes of VRAM. Okay, let's just go right to the source. That they're claiming that the 7900 XT and the 7900 XTX are close into relation of FPS. So basically, they're just both just as good on the FPS for rasterization. So, if you're looking for raw horsepower, then, you know, and you're not looking to get into ray tracing, then go with something that cost 1/3 of the card you're really wanting to go for. So, I'm not really recommending AMD, but they do have a couple cards that I do like, but I said I like, but doesn't mean I'm going to use them. Not unless they say, hey, Jay. They say, hey, Jay to me. They say, hey, Jay, we're going to send you out a couple graphics cards for you to test. And I'll be like, all right, bring them on. Let's see how they stack up against my card right now. And I'll tell you, we'll see. Just my opinion, guys. Just my opinion. Yeah, the 7800 XT is not bad. I wasn't saying it wasn't bad. I just didn't get the OC model. I got the standard model. I'm not impressed with the standard. The OC model, that's what I would have loved to got. But at the point in time that I got the 7800 XT, it was around Christmas time anyway. You know, it was around Christmas time. So basically, I was at slim pickings with what I can get. So I got me a 7800 XT. Really wish I got the OC model, truthfully. Because at least the strapping on the OC model, you have that switch. You can turn it on and off for the strapping. And that's done by their factory hands, so you don't have to worry about somebody that doesn't work for the company, you know. I got the OC model on my... I don't know. You guys can tell me that you like the Founders Edition. You can love it all you want. But as far as when it comes to overclocking. The AIB partner cards, the overclock series, they are bad. They are really not bad in a bad way, bad is good way. So that's just my opinion. I'm not really into founders. Is the founders worth it if they come out with a water block? No. Because you know they're never going to come out with the water block. Do you think NVIDIA is going to invest more money into something just to get small returns back? They're not going to do that. Not whatsoever. That's the reason why they give you an air cooler. If you're lucky to get one with the water block on it, let me know. Because I haven't seen them yet. Not unless you've seen them and I don't know about it, then I'll go look it up. But I haven't seen one Founders Edition yet that was water blocked. That come out of NVIDIA's hands. Now I know Gigabyte, I think Gigabyte's doing a water block series, but they're doing it liquid metal. They're doing a liquid metal series, Gigabyte is, with the water block. Word of caution, good luck if you buy it. Companies like EK make them, yeah, but also too, companies like EK are barely making it, period. So, and Kaif was right. Exactly. But Gigabyte's doing one with liquid metal, thermal paste, and it's a water block. I suggest you go see the post on that. I don't know how they're going to do that. That's going to be beyond me, though. Might be some work putting a water block on an FE model. Well, actually, it's going to be a lot of work, especially when the die, the PCB, is in the center of the graphics card. How are you going to put a water block on something that's in the center of the graphics card? And the PCB's in the center, and then they're running ribbon cable to connect the what was it? Ribbon cable to connect the power and to connect the HDMI and display connectors. How are they going to actually do a water block like that? That is beyond me. That I want to see how they're going to do a Founders Edition, really. Because I seen when Gamers Nexus tore one apart. I'm like, there's no way they're going to do a water block on this. Not unless they find a way to chop that air cooler in half or trim it up to fit a water block in there. Inside that plastic. But that'll be like the ugliest thing you've ever seen. Yep, that's pretty much it. They got a bunch of nastiness around that die, that GPU die. 5090 has liquid metal. And you know, reviewers for years were telling you never use liquid metal on certain metals because it would eat up certain metals and certain plastics, I would think. And if you do a vertical mount with liquid metal on that GPU die, then you are in a risk if the gasket that they used around there to keep it sealed around the GPU die, what happens if it leaks? Then what do you have? A $3,000 paperweight. That's what you have. A $3,000 paperweight. So, and if you go to change from liquid metal to thermal paste, non-conductive thermal paste, I suggest, if you don't know how to do it, you take it to somebody that knows what they're doing. Don't do it on your own. It's not as simple as you think. If you want to change your 5090 from liquid metal to thermal paste, non-conductive thermal paste, which, that's your choice, but I would take it to a professional if you don't know how to do it. I'm not going to do it because I am not going to mess with a $3,000 GPU and void all the warranties with it. Hell no. I wouldn't even buy it. I buy a 5070 with non-conductive thermal paste over buying the 5090. Like they say on Reddit, people, you're not buying the hardware, you're buying the software. And right now, the 40 series GPUs got all the software perks, almost close to, guess what? The 50 series. Could you imagine? Think about this. If my 4070 got all the perks of the 5070, do you not think that would put everybody into a panic mode looking to see that you get everything from A to Z? But I hate to tell you this, I already do. I already get everything. I already get frame generation. I already get the transformer model. I already get path tracing. I already get all this. All the whole bells and whistles. I don't get multi-frame generation. I don't need it. After what I've been seeing for the last couple days with this new software, I am impressed. Okay? I'm impressed. My games on a 1080p monitor look so nice. So, just saying. Yeah, I'm still rocking my 1080p monitor. You guys won't hear me say anything different. But you know what? With DSR, dynamic screen resolution, I can go from 1080p and play my games at 1440p with all day no problem. Even if I get 150 FPS, and it still looks good with no artifacting and no stuttering, come on. It's no brainer. And I don't even have to overclock my GPU. Believe it or not. I don't even overclock my GPU with MSI Afterburner. I leave it at stock. That's because I got the OC model and I don't need to overclock. You can just download lossless scaling. Why would I want lossless scaling? I had a couple people already tell me it looks like garbage. Why would I spend the $7 to get lossless scaling? When you already got frame generation, that gives you one extra frame. I mean, so does AMD and so does Intel. They all do the same thing. So, They all got fake frames. How about that? AIO on a GPU and AIO on a CPU will look ugly. Not unless you get a full water cooled system. Then you can use a 480 millimeter radiator with 2 water blocks, one on the CPU and one on the GPU, and you got 1 reservoir, and you don't have to use 2 radiators. It'll just look twice as sick in a good way. So. To me, there's really no difference if you run 2 AIOs. There's really no difference because you're going to run the same amount of hoses, maybe even more. And you're going to have 1 extra radiator that you really don't see anyway because it'll be in the front of the case and at the top. So I don't see it to be a problem, really. But anyway, guys, I'm over the 2-hour mark. I got to get going because I got a lot of things I got to get done still. But I do appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. It's been an energetic and interesting kind of day. Custom loops is an art compared to AIO. Yep, it is. I'm not going to compare it. You got something that you can get 2 AIO coolers for $100 compared to spending $1,000 on a full water cooled system. Yeah, there's a big difference. $900 difference. So that's just my opinion. But you guys can take it however you want. But I am going to get out of here next week. Next Saturday. I'm going to apologize to you guys right now for this. I have some real life things going on and I can't get here until probably after 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So next week it'll be about around the same time here again. So make sure you all stick around for that. And also, too, any new videos I got coming out within the next couple days, we'll see what happens. And thank you, Dr. Blitz. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Of course. And thank you for subscribing as well. And y'all make sure you do subscribe. It does help out the channel. And also, too, put a positive like on this live stream. It helps. It tells YouTube to stop being a boob and put my videos out there. Put a positive like, would be appreciated. And don't forget about your notification bell, because if you don't turn it on, you'll never know when I post the next video. Which we'll be getting back into doing 1 video a day, 7 days a week pretty soon. I'm working my way up towards that. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a great evening. Be safe. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Well, I probably would, but no. Just be safe and have a great evening, and we'll see you on the next video.